He's full of energy. He's got, bubbling personality. I'm glad he was able to showcase that, center court in front of the fans.
Yuki, good move. Kawamura! Oh, a scoop and a score.
Imagine this. You're on the court, surrounded by towering giants, each of them at least a foot taller than you. The crowd doesn't believe you belong there, and neither do your opponents. But then, the ball is in your hands and you do something that makes the entire arena fall silent. This isn't a movie plot. It's the life of Yuki Kawamura, a 5'7" basketball prodigy defying the odds in a league where height is king. The NBA is a place where even 6'2" players are considered undersized. Yet here's Yuki, standing more than a foot shorter than the league's average height, carving out his place among the best basketball players in the world. How is this even possible? How does someone like Yuki, a player who's been overlooked his entire life, not just survive but thrive in a league dominated by giants? But here's what keeps NBA scouts up at night. How does someone nearly a foot shorter than every player on the court become their biggest nightmare? It starts with a story that even Hollywood would call unrealistic. A story about a kid from Japan who heard one word his entire life: impossible. In this video, we'll dive deep into Yuki Kawamura's incredible story. From his humble beginnings in Japan to his rise as the shortest player in NBA history. We'll explore how he silenced doubters with dazzling performances on the global stage, and how he's tackling one of the toughest challenges in professional sports today. But here's the real question. Can Yuki Kawamura overcome the one obstacle that's still holding him back? Yuki Kawamura wasn't supposed to be here. Growing up in Japan, basketball wasn't even a blip on most kids' radar, let alone for someone standing barely over 5 feet as a teenager. Coaches doubted him, scouts ignored him, even teammates questioned if he could keep up. But Yuki had something they couldn't measure: an unshakable determination. While others doubted, he worked. Early mornings in the gym, Yuki wasn't just playing basketball, he was perfecting it. By his first year of high school, his dedication paid off. Yuki led his team to an undefeated season, dazzling fans with his unmatched court vision and jaw-dropping passes. People couldn't believe their eyes, a player his size dominating opponents twice as tall. Then, at just 16, Yuki took the next leap, joining Japan's B.League as one of its youngest players ever. He wasn't just competing, he was redefining the game. Back-to-back championships, Rookie of the Year, and even League MVP, a 5'7" guard outshining giants. For Yuki, the B.League was just the beginning. His sights were set on the global stage, the NBA. Could he prove himself against the best in the world? By now, Yuki Kawamura was a star in Japan, a living legend in the making. But for him, dominating the B.League wasn't enough. He dreamed of something that felt almost unattainable: the NBA. It was a league that had chewed up and spit out players far taller, faster, and stronger than him. The opportunity came in 2023 when scouts from the Memphis Grizzlies took notice of his electrifying performances in the FIBA World Cup. Watching Yuki control the game, deliver no-look assists, and knock down clutch shots against world-class competition was enough to pique their interest. Still, signing a player of his size was a gamble, a move that left many questioning whether it was a marketing stunt or a genuine investment in his talent. When Yuki got the call from Memphis, he knew this was his shot, but the transition wouldn't be easy. The NBA is a completely different beast. The court is bigger, the players faster, and the physicality on another level. Even the three-point line was farther than what he was used to. And then there was the cultural adjustment, moving halfway across the world, facing language barriers, and stepping into a locker room full of established stars. Yuki took it all in stride. He leaned into the challenge, even teaching himself English by watching basketball documentaries, including The Last Dance. He wanted to understand not just the language, but the mindset of champions. When preseason arrived, Yuki had one mission: prove he belonged, and prove it he did. In limited minutes, he dazzled with his passing, outsmarting defenders with his signature no-look dimes and perfectly timed assists. Critics were silenced when he dished out 7 assists in a game against the Pacers, including jaw-dropping plays that left even his teammates in awe. The highlight reels from his preseason games started circulating online, earning him fans from all over the world. People couldn't believe what they were seeing: a player who looked more like a high school student than an NBA guard, confidently going toe-to-toe with giants. But despite his moments of brilliance, there was one glaring issue: Yuki wasn't scoring. In the NBA, point guards are expected to be dual threats, distributing the ball and creating their own offense. Yuki's shooting percentages were low, and defenses quickly figured out they could sag off him, daring him to shoot. For some, this would have been the end of the road, but for Yuki, it was just another challenge to overcome. "I've been counted out before," he said in an interview. "This is nothing new." The Grizzlies saw his potential and rewarded his effort, upgrading upgrading him from an Exhibit 10 contract to a 1-year non-guaranteed NBA deal. It wasn't much, but it was a sign that they believed in him, and for Yuki, that belief meant everything. The NBA stage was set. Yuki had defied the odds to get here, but the question remained, could he rise even higher? As the regular season began, all eyes were on the shortest player in the league, waiting to see if he could truly beat the odds. And the next chapter of his journey was about to deliver even more surprises. Stay tuned. This story is far from over. The moment had finally arrived. After years of grinding, defying the odds, and silencing doubters, Yuki Kawamura stepped onto the court for his NBA debut. The anticipation was electric. Fans across the world, from Memphis to Tokyo, tuned in to watch the shortest player in the league take on the giants of basketball. For Yuki, it wasn't just about proving himself anymore. It was about representing every player who's ever been told they weren't big enough, fast enough, or strong enough to compete at the highest level. His first game was against the Dallas Mavericks. It wasn't primetime minutes, he checked in during garbage time, but for Yuki, it was still monumental. The crowd buzzed as he took control of the ball, moving with the confidence of a seasoned veteran, and then it happened. A pinpoint assist that sliced through the defense, setting up an easy bucket for his teammate. It wasn't flashy, but it was enough to spark the beginning of his NBA story. Over the next few preseason games, Yuki began to find his rhythm. Against the Pacers, he delivered a performance that no one could ignore. 7 assists, including a series of no-look passes that had the crowd roaring. On one play, he drove into the lane, spun around a defender, and without even looking, whipped the ball behind his back to a cutting teammate for an easy slam. It was basketball artistry, pure and simple. Social media exploded. Clips of Yuki's dazzling playmaking went viral with captions like, "How is this guy not starting?" and "The 5'7" wizard strikes again." Even his teammates couldn't help but be impressed. "Yuki sees the court like no one else," one player commented. "It's like he has eyes in the back of his head." But as thrilling as his assists were, one issue became painfully clear. Yuki wasn't scoring. In his first few games, he struggled to find the basket. Shots that had been automatic in Japan were now bouncing off the rim. The NBA's extended three-point line, tighter defenses, and towering shot blockers were taking their toll. It was frustrating, but Yuki didn't let it break his spirit. "Scoring will come," he said in an interview. "Right now, I'm focused on making my team better. That's my job." And while his scoring remained a work in progress, his passing was undeniable. By the end of the preseason, Yuki was averaging 4.2 assists in just 15 minutes per game, a pace that, if extended to 30 minutes, would place him among the league's top 5 passers. Yet the challenges were mounting. The regular season brought tougher competition, smarter defenses, and fewer opportunities. Yuki's minutes were scarce, often limited to the final moments of games that had already been decided. His scoring slump continued, with defenses daring him to shoot, and when he did, the ball rarely found the net. But then, in a game against the Chicago Bulls, something magical happened. With the game slipping away, Yuki drove into the lane, stopped on a dime, and hit a turnaround jumper over a defender nearly a foot taller than him. The crowd erupted. Fans chanted his name. It was more than just 2 points. It was a glimpse of what could be. Yuki's journey in the NBA had started, but it was clear that his biggest challenges and biggest moments were still ahead. Could he develop the scoring touch needed to stay in the league? Could he prove that size doesn't define a player's value? For Yuki Kawamura, the road was anything but easy. But as he's shown time and time again, he thrives in the face of adversity. His story is far from over, and what happens next could rewrite what we think is possible in basketball. Yuki Kawamura's presence in the NBA isn't just about basketball. It's about breaking barriers and inspiring millions. For years, the league has been dominated by towering athletes, players who seemed untouchable to anyone who didn't fit the mold. But Yuki, standing at just 5'7", is shattering those stereotypes with every dribble, pass, and play he makes. His journey is resonating far beyond the court. In Japan, Yuki has become a national hero, a symbol of what's possible when determination meets opportunity. Kids who once believed they were too small to play basketball are now picking up the sport, dreaming of one day following in his footsteps. Local gyms are filling up with young players imitating Yuki's no-look passes and fearless drives, proving that his impact stretches far beyond the box score. But it's not just about height. Yuki's story is a universal one. It's about resilience in the face of doubt. He's showing that talent, hard work, and heart can outweigh the limitations others try to place on you. Every time he steps onto the court, he's not just playing for himself, he's playing for the underdogs, for the overlooked, and for the underestimated. Even in the NBA, Yuki's presence is making waves. Teammates marvel at his court vision, calling him one of the smartest passers they've ever played with. Coaches appreciate his work ethic, noting how he spends extra hours in the gym, perfecting his shot and studying film. And fans, they've fallen in love with him. When Yuki enters a game, the energy in the arena shifts. And when he hits a shot or delivers a jaw-dropping assist, the crowd goes wild, celebrating the moment as if it were a game-winning buzzer beater. But Yuki's significance isn't just about inspiring hope, it's about changing perceptions. For years, the NBA has been a league where size and athleticism seem to reign supreme. Yet Yuki is proving that there's still room for players who rely on skill, intelligence, and creativity. He's a reminder that basketball is, at its core, a game of strategy and precision, a game where even the smallest player can make the biggest impact. And then there's his influence on the NBA's global reach. As only the fourth Japanese player to make it to the league, Yuki is opening doors for international players everywhere. His success is drawing millions of new fans from Asia, strengthening the connection between the NBA and one of the fastest growing basketball markets in the world. Yuki Kawamura is more than just a player. He's a movement. His journey reminds us that greatness doesn't have a set height, a specific look, or a predefined path. It's about heart, determination, and the belief that you can achieve the impossible. But the question remains, can Yuki's impact on and off the court translate into long-term success in the NBA? The answer to that is still being written. One thing's for sure. Whether he's dazzling with assists or inspiring the next generation, Yuki Kawamura is leaving a legacy that will be felt for years to come. And the next chapter of his journey? It's bound to be unforgettable. Yuki Kawamura has already accomplished what most thought was impossible, making it to the NBA as one of the shortest players in league history. But now, the question everyone is asking is, what's next? The NBA is unforgiving, and Yuki's journey is far from complete. While his passing has earned him respect and admiration, his scoring remains the one glaring obstacle in his path. In a league where point guards are expected to create their own offense, Yuki must find a way to become a reliable scoring threat. But if there's one thing Yuki has proven time and time again, it's that he thrives under pressure. He's been tirelessly working on his shot, putting up hundreds, if not thousands, of attempts every week. He's also experimenting with a floater, a weapon that could allow him to score over the towering defenders who often block his path to the basket. The potential is there. We've seen glimpses of it before. His clutch three-pointers during the Olympics, his crafty drives in international tournaments, and even those rare moments in the NBA where he's caught defenses off guard. If he can consistently add scoring to his arsenal, Yuki won't just be a good player. He could be a game changer. But it's not just about what he does on the court. Yuki's future also depends on how he fits into the Memphis Grizzlies' plans. The team is stacked with talent, including all-star guards and established veterans. Breaking into the regular rotation won't be easy, especially for a player still finding his rhythm in the league. Yuki's chemistry with his teammates and his relentless work ethic give him a fighting chance. He's already earned the respect of the locker room, and his ability to elevate the play of those around him makes him a valuable asset. With the right development and opportunities, Yuki could carve out a role as a spark plug off the bench, a player who changes the pace of the game with his creativity and vision. And if the NBA doesn't pan out, Yuki's options are far from limited. EuroLeague teams have already taken notice of his skills, and with short guards dominating overseas leagues, he would undoubtedly find success on the international stage. Plus, his legacy as Japan's basketball icon is already cemented. Whether it's in global tournaments or the Olympics, Yuki will continue to be a force for his national team. But let's be honest, Yuki isn't thinking about what ifs. He's focused on the here and now, on proving that he belongs in the world's most competitive basketball league. He's been doubted his entire life, but doubt is what fuels him. So, can Yuki Kawamura overcome the odds once again? Can he rise to become more than just an underdog story and solidify his place in the NBA? Time will tell. What we do know is this: Yuki isn't done surprising us. Whether it's with a highlight reel assist, a game-winning shot, or another incredible chapter in his journey, the only question left is, are you ready for what's next? Stay tuned, because Yuki Kawamura's future is as unpredictable as it is exciting. Yuki Kawamura's journey is a testament to the power of determination. From a high school prodigy in Japan to the shortest player in the NBA, he has defied every expectation and shattered every doubt. His story isn't just about basketball, it's about proving that the impossible is possible. Whether it's his jaw-dropping assists, his resilience in the face of adversity, or the way he carries the pride of an entire nation on his shoulders, Yuki's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. But the best part? Yuki's future is filled with potential, and whether he becomes an NBA mainstay, an international star, or a legend in his own right, one thing is certain: he's already changed the game. Now here's where you come in. If Yuki's story moved you, if it inspired you to believe in the underdog, don't let it stop here. Hit that like button to show your support for Yuki and his incredible journey. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us why we love sports, the passion, the perseverance, and the magic that makes the impossible real. And before you go, check out another incredible story we've got lined up for you. Just click the box on your screen to hear about another player who's rewriting the rules of basketball. Thanks for watching, and remember, no matter how tough the odds, the right mindset can take you anywhere. See you in the next video.